This past weekend, I spent a good amount of time playing Project Gorgon. Altogether, it was about 8 to 9 hours on stream, plus another 5 or 6 hours off stream. So this wasn't just a quick look, this was enough time to actually get a feel for what the game is doing well, where it struggles, and who it's really for. Short version up front, I had fun. And at this point, yeah, I'd probably recommend people at least check it out. But this isn't a glowing sales pitch. There are some real issues here too, especially for modern MMO players. So let's walk through this step by step. What is Project Gorgon? Well, Project Gorgon is a classless, skill-based MMORPG that's been in development for a long time. It was developed by Elder Game, a small independent studio who worked on Asheron's Call back in the day. And honestly, that influence shows everywhere. The game just recently hit its 1.0 release, which brought in a noticeable wave of new players. The full game costs $24.99. There's an optional VIP subscription around $11 per month that adds extra character slots and storage, but no pay to win. Importantly, if you play the demo and later buy the game, your progress carries over. That alone makes it very easy to recommend at least trying it. Project Gorgon feels like a very old school MMO, and I mean that in both good and bad ways. The world is dense, systems are layered, almost everything connects to something else. And the game expects you to figure things out or ask other players for help. This is not a modern follow the glowing arrow MMO. If you like experimenting, reading tooltips, comparing numbers, discovering systems slowly, this game might really click with you. Let's talk about the biggest issues I noticed. First was server performance. The first and most obvious problem was server stability. We saw lag, rubber banding, delays in responsiveness, desyncs, especially as the day went on. To be fair, Project Gorgon probably didn't expect the jump in players it got after 1.0. Concurrency climbed into the 3,000 plus range, which is big for a niche MMO like this. The devs did respond by adding 2 fresh start servers, which helped. But still, if players can't stay connected or feel in control of their characters, that's a serious barrier. Server issues are often temporary, but they matter a lot for the first impression. Number 2 was the complexity and learning curve. This is a very complex game. There's a tutorial island, and it does help, but honestly, it's still not enough. There are so many systems, skills, gear interactions, crafting, death mechanics, favor systems, curses, transformation mechanics. On our first stream, I'm not sure we would have gotten as far as we did without chat helping us. I don't think the game needs heavy hand-holding, but a bit more explanation early on, especially around core systems, would help new players stick around. Number 3 is gear drops and skill requirements. Gear in Project Gorgon is very important, almost like an ARPG. Gear doesn't just boost stats, it directly affects specific skills: unarmed, swords, archery, psychology, bard skills. The problem is timing. I was getting gear drops that required skill level 15 and multiple skills, while my skills were still around 8 or 9. So I'd get excited about a drop, then I'd realize I couldn't use it for a long time. That creates a few issues. You feel weaker than you should. Inventory fills up fast. You're forced to decide what to keep or sell early on. Crafting probably helps smooth this out later, but in the early game, it's noticeable. A lot of people talk about the graphics, and we'll give that an honorable mention. Yes, this game looks very old school, very EverQuest 2-ish. Personally, graphics don't matter that much to me if the game is fun. So I won't put this in my top 3 problems, but it is something players should know going in. Now let's talk about what Project Gorgon does really well. Skill-based progression with no character levels. This is my favorite part of the game. There are no character levels. Everything is skill-based. Combat, crafting, exploration, even dying is a skill. If you die in certain ways, you gain experience in the death skill, which then gives you benefits like health bonuses, necromancy interactions, other weird, interesting effects. Even eating food is a skill, the gourmand skill, which eventually gives real benefits. I love this system. Character levels are mostly time gates. They slow players down. Project Gorgon skips that and lets progression feel more organic and personal. Classless design. There are no classes. You don't pick warrior, mage, or healer. You build your character through skills. Yes, technically anyone can learn anything, but realistically, mastering everything would take an enormous amount of time. Most players will naturally specialize. I've always liked this idea. If I want to learn something new, why shouldn't I be able to go find an NPC and do it? It's flexible, it's freeing, and it makes characters feel more personal. Weird, funny, and unique ideas. Project Gorgon is weird in a good way. The humor is subtle but constant. On the tutorial island, there's an NPC who keeps calling you the wrong name. At first, I thought I messed up character creation. Then it clicked. It's intentional. There are also things like gaining favor with NPCs in very strange ways, being cursed and turned into a cow, spider, vampire, or werewolf. Those forms having their own skill lines. Yes, cows can be milked. Yes, other players can milk you. This game has personality. It's not afraid to be strange. One last thing that really stood out was the community. People were helpful, friendly, patient. That matters a lot in a complex MMO. Being able to ask questions without getting dunked on makes a huge difference for new players. So where do I land? Project Gorgon is old school, deep, weird, complex, flawed, and genuinely fun. It absolutely has areas that need improvement, especially server stability and early game clarity. But it also offers something very different from most modern MMOs. Right now, with so many MMO closures and disappointments, that matters. There's a free demo. Your progress carries over, and at $25, I think most MMO fans will easily get their money's worth. You don't have to take my word for it. Try the demo and see how it feels. We're going to keep doing this series, spending a weekend in different MMOs, getting that true new player experience, and seeing what still works. Next up is likely Quinfall, but I'm open to suggestions. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next one.